Alright guys, got a pretty simple upgraded gun to do a video on today. So this is a kid that is local. He's like 13 or 14 years old, pretty young. But he said that this gun wasn't shooting at all. And he said he tried both batteries. Turns out it had to have been his batteries because I plugged in a battery and it shot. Now he had already paid for upgrades. I already ordered the parts. I got new batteries for him. LiPo charger, because he was using the NIM, 8.4s, the absolute trash batteries. So helping him out, find some good batteries for it, and a nice LiPo charger, and going to show him how to use it, because LiPo chargers are different than regular battery chargers. So I've got two 11-1 LiPos and a LiPo charger on the way for this. So he didn't really sink a whole lot of money into it. It was about $220 is what he gave me for upgrades, including batteries, charger, and the tech fee. So pretty budget build for him. This is the Elite Force competition series. G36, I believe, is what they call it. The Elite used to be the Aries. They do not make those anymore. They don't make a longer version of this in terms of the competition. In fact, I don't even know if they call this a competition anymore, since they just discontinued the Elite version, which had the electric blowback. I have one of the Aries ones that I HPA'd, but these are anywhere from, I believe, $180 to $200, so not too expensive budget. Pretty cool guns. The plastic is a little bit cheap. It's nothing like the Aries or even like the AEGs. It's more along the lines of what you would see in like a JG. So it's kind of cheaper plastic. It's kind of rickety. Like when you pull the stock out, it locks into place really well, but you can kind of hear it creak a little bit. It's just a type of plastic that they use. It's probably ABS. It's definitely cheaper, so be careful with it. Don't, drop it. If you drop it on the concrete, it'll crack. In my opinion, are one of the coolest 5.56 style guns. I love G36s so much. So we'll just start from the back. We'll make it quick because it is very basic. So you got the folding stock. It does lock very well. It can hold the whole weight of the gun. You kind of pull it up and then out. Locks into place just fine. Plastic. Now I'm going to call this plastic instead of polymer because it's definitely not the quality like polymer that you see on some of the other versions. So plastic, everything is plastic. The top rail's plastic. You got the basic sights, the peephole, and then like the pistol sights. You're not really going to use those in airsoft. You just watch the BBs with your eyes. It does have H&K markings, so that is pretty cool for a budget gun. You're paying a little bit more and you're getting real HK markings. Now, of course, it says Cal 6mm, so it's BB, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty cool flair to it. So the whole thing here is plastic. There is a sling mount here that you could clamp onto. Same thing with up here. Personally, I don't like any of these rails on there. I would take all that crap off. It does have an ambidextrous safety on both sides. You can see I can move it. Safe, semi, full auto. There is no MOSFET in here. It does use a micro switch, so the trigger does click. It's like one of the basic micro switches, no MOSFET. Those of you who are techs will know what I'm talking about. So G36s are actually really easy to work on. It does use a version 3 gearbox. It does have quick change, so if you fold the stock, that is really important. You do have to pop the pin back here, so you'd pop the pin first, and then you kind of wiggle. You have to kind of pull down on the lower a little bit. Wiggle, and then pull the back plate off, and then you have the flathead. You take that off, and then it's the quick change right behind it. So really nice and accessible. Love that about G36s. The Aries one's like that, and so is this one. There are a couple like the WE AEGs, the 999, whatever they call them. They do not have quick change. You see that? That is a strong motor in there. The charging handle works like any G36. It is mainly plastic, unlike the Aries is metal, but it's ambi, so you can cock it from either side to access the hop up. It is a typical G36 like rotary style. You can lock the charging handle in place. That would be for the real gun, or if you just want to keep it like that, You can, and then you can do it on the other side. Pretty cool stuff. G36s are sick. Metal rails on the front. Again, I don't like those. I would take those off. Orange tip, I would paint that black. But, you know, him being young, living in the suburbs, I don't know. I don't know where he plays. Now, in terms of the internals, I did not touch the hop up parts at all. All I did was put 16:1 gears in there, SHS. They're CNC'd. They're their current generation, really good quality. I haven't had SHS problems with SHS gears in a long time. It's probably been 4 or 5 years. Their bevel gears used to be, they made the teeth a little thinner, and they were popping off on higher speed builds. But it's been a long time since I've had a problem with those. $25 gear set, fantastic. Now I went with 16:1s because I went with a high speed motor. I did go with the SHS 40K high speed short type motor. I could have done a high torque and then high speed gears, but I just did the opposite. You can go both ways and get similar rate of fire and performance. It also has a SHS piston. It is the Swiss cheese piston with all the round holes on it, so it's very light steel rack. I also used a super shooter aluminum piston head. Pretty good compression. It does have the full cylinder, the red full cylinder, but not perfect compression. There's no O-ring on the nozzle. I didn't change anything else, nozzle or tappet plate or anything. I did use a ZCI M120 spring. And it's a short barrel and not perfect compression, so I was using an ASG 105 for a minute there, and it was like 295 with a 0.25, and I was like, that's just a little too low. So I put a ZCI 120 in here, and now it shoots about 330 with a 2.5, which is good. He again doesn't play at legit fields, so I don't think it's necessary for him to be shooting 350. He just plays outside with friends and stuff, so 380 with a 0.2 is about what we're getting now, and that's pretty good in my opinion. So we're going to test a couple magazines. I've got the PTS EPMs. These I tested already and they work great, believe it or not, even on full auto. Very impressed with these. So I'll probably just recommend the flash mags. You can pop them in there and just wind it like that. So in terms of range, I don't have it overhopped a whole lot. He's probably not playing super long range with this thing. So I have it hopped maybe about 180 feet is where the BBs are dropping to. We'll just shoot here at the close range targets for a little bit with the flash mag 0.25s. Again, they are Tippmann brand. Trigger response is actually really impressive because it is the micro switch. It does pre-cock as well, which is increasing the trigger response. All right, so I got, what, about 120, I think is what these hold with 0.25s. Let's go ahead and try it. Again, I'd say easy 180. So that's pretty much it. A pretty nice budget build, if you ask me, considering I'm pretty sure he plays airsoft like 2 or 3 times a year. So just a casual, if you will. If he wants to go to the field, he'll actually be able to compete with something like this. But if he just wants to continue to play with his friends, he probably has the best gun now.